Hello friends, this is my next video on marketing environment chapter, and this is going to cover learning objective number 4, that is macro environment and designing of pastel framework. In my earlier videos I have already covered 3 objectives, objective number 1, 2 and 3. So this is objective number 4. So moving further with the objective number 4, first of all, I'd like to understand about the business environment of the firm that constitutes three different types: internal, micro, and the macro environment. Internal and micro, they have already been covered. Now, talking about the macro environment, and there is a famous acronym when you talk about macro environment, that is PESTEL. So, moving further, these are larger societal forces that affects the company's environment, and the PESTEL is an acronym for it here. P stands for political forces, E stands for economical forces, S stands for socio and cultural forces, T stands for technological forces, L for legal forces, and E for ecological environment. There are other acronyms at the same time when you talk about the pastel environment. The SLEPT is also famous acronym because there are multiple books that give different acronyms. However, pastel is the most famous version when it comes to talking about the macro environment. Let us define what macro environment is all about. These are larger forces which are general for all the companies, for the entire industry. So, the macro environment consists of broader forces. So these forces are external, these are uncontrollable, these are general, that affect the business activities in the market. So let us scan this acronym. This is a scan of the external macro environment in which firm operates and can be expressed as pestle analysis. So, this is used to describe the framework. And this fits into overall environmental scan that includes political, economical, socio-cultural, and technological environment. There are other versions in this particular video I like to share. Pest, steeple, D-step, pellet, slept, pestle. However, we are focusing upon pestle only as of now. So let us understand the purpose of analyzing the market. The main purpose is to find out the trends and becoming the right fit while having the internal strengths and weaknesses to be worked upon and maintaining the micro and macro environment. So we should know where the environment is heading to discern which events and trends are favorable, to assess the scope of various opportunities and to help secure the right fit between the environment and the business unit. That is beyond our control. So we can only respond, we can't change it. So the organization has no control. We have some degree of influence over the microenvironment, but by no means complete control. So the organization can control its internal environment only. It cannot control the external version. So these are the components of the macro environment. And first of all, talking about the political environment, which consists of different laws, government agencies, and pressure groups that influence various organizations and individuals in a given society. This is also known as politico-legal environment. If you would like to summarize the political environment, I've created 5 P's for it. So the first one is the politician attitude towards liberalization, privatization, and the globalization and the power they have for control purpose. Then we also need to look at the political system, be it democratic or totalitarian, and policies available in our constitutions. Political environment also consists of the pressure through legal acts such as taxation, civil laws, contract laws, and the competitive laws. And then the fifth P is the policies related to patent, licensing, foreign direct investment, export import, food, water, CSR, environment ethics, and air adulteration. So, the 5 P's would cover everything when it comes to the political environment and its horizon. Now, moving upon to the economic environment, and the factors that belong to economic environment include the demand and supply situations for an organization, the democracy of the constitution, the demographics of the economy, the deregulations, the inflation, interest rates that are happening in the market, income and the spending patterns would actually talk about the economic environment, the purchasing power of consumers, exchange rates, growth rates, and the employment rates. So the economic environment consists of the factors that affect consumer purchasing and spending power. Under economic environment, managerial generally studies the trends of the gross national product, patterns of real growth in income, variations in geographical income distribution, borrowing pattern, and the major economic variables. So the economic forces relate to the factors that affect consumer purchasing power and spending patterns. For instance, a company should never start exporting to a country before having examined how much people will be able to spend. So the important criteria include the GDP growth rate, GNI, import duty rates, and GST, unemployment, inflation. These are all the economic forces in the macro environment. And we need to see the income, savings rate, debt, credit availability. So moving on to the next component, that is the socio-cultural forces. It is the way we live, we think, we speak, the psychological characteristics and the changes happening in the market. So it refers to the attitude, beliefs, values, norms, and lifestyle of individuals. So these are the forces that are changing the market dynamics, and marketeer face both challenges and opportunities. For example, with both husband and wife working, the market for ready-to food and garments have increased. So 3-minute Indian breakfast, Haldiram's ready-to-cook foods, and the husband and wife are working. So banking sector is improving with respect to the loan facilities given to them. So social responsibility has crept into the marketing literature as an alternative to marketing concept. So, social marketing is also prevailing when it comes to socio-cultural forces. So the basis for these factors is formed by the fact that the people are part of society and cultural group that shape their beliefs and values. So socio-cultural environment includes different languages, mother tongues, many religions, view of society, understanding diversity, and the cultural environment consists of basic values, perceptions, and behaviors. So core belief and values are persistent and are passed on from parents to children and are reinforced by schools, religious institutions, businesses, and government. And the secondary beliefs and values are more open to change and include pupil view of themselves, others, organization, society, and the universe. So social factors are the actually changes that are happening in the market. These are general trends or the changes within a society. So this movement is required basically from pleasing but unhealthy to desirable but healthy products. For example, cereal breakfast, cooking oil got changed, and products made with low fats are preferred. So there are demographic trends which are available in the market and that can shift demand. So let us see these demographic trends as in terms of the size, density, location, age, gender, race, occupation, other statistics. So demographic environment is important because it involves people and people make up the market. So demographic trends includes the age, family structure, educational characteristics, anything that can be measured that comes under the purview of the demographic environment. So it is the collection of data by survey in each country and it is the published data. This is required for market segmentation in the host country. So population can be measured, age can be measured, income can be measured, education can be measured, occupation can be measured, family size can be measured, religion can be measured. So, anything that can be measured would come under the purview of the demographic environment. And this may also include the worldwide population growth, ethnic markets, educational groups, shift from mass to micro markets. So the demographic environment includes the growth in rural population, how much is there, and changing family system, changing role of women, and increasing diversity. So factor that affects the market potential is the economic and the technology factors. And if you talk about the technology factors, the application of science deals in level of innovation, R&D for developments, automation, AI, robotics, internet, software applications. Now, without these factors taken into consideration, it is very difficult for the organization to move and survive and provide convenience, because technological factors actually gives you a competitive edge in the market, because you are maintaining the pace of change, you are enhancing the opportunities for innovation, you have varying R&D budgets. So, these technological factors are really, really important for an organization to survive in the longer run. That is the most dramatic force in changing the marketplace. It creates new products and opportunities, and safety of new products is always a concern. Moving further on to the ecological environment, that covers the 5 P's of marketing. So if you talk about the ecological environment, you need to plan for new technologies, you need to plan for future generation, thereby having a sustainable vision. You need to ensure the pollution gets prevented by minimizing waste and eliminating it. You have to focus on product design for environment, which are easier to recover, reuse, and recycle. And you have to have a product stewardship by ensuring environmental impact throughout the product life cycle. So these are the environmental factors that an organization needs to take into consideration. For example, the green piece, carbon footprints to be reduced, climate change needs to be taken into consideration, sustainable philosophy, and the protection of resources. Now, the last factor is the legal and the regulatory factors, and it can make products or deals legal or illegal. It can increase the cost associated with the product. For example, if the government or the regulatory environment enforces helmet for two people, so the cost of traveling would get doubled automatically. Moving with the legal system means the different laws that regulate the companies and individual, and it goes in synchronization with the political environment. So political and legal goes hand in hand, and the legal system which affect the trade include the civil laws, contract laws, patent laws, tax laws, competitive laws, dispute resolution like conciliation, reunion, arbitration or settlement, and litigation or legal action that needs to be taken in case of any conflict that arises. If so, that's the designing of the pestle analysis. And the political includes the political and diplomatic tension with China, trade regulation and policies, government support for electric car technologies. Economical include the fluctuation in currency markets. Social includes the focus on fuel efficient cars, and technological includes the focus on smart technologies. Legal includes focus on legal regulations, and environmental includes growing concern about environmental changes. So that's an example of the pestle analysis. Now I like to take a few more examples from different organizations such as Volkswagen, Royal Enfield, Puma. How they designed their pestle analysis. If you talk about the Volkswagen, which operates in 150 plus countries, and each country has different policy. They entered Indian market in 2001 only after the 100% direct investment was allowed in the country. So in case of economic situation, Volkswagen operates is not good. It can focus on the cars which come under the lower segment. For society concerns, the Volkswagen is big and different from place to place. Thousands of people have got employment in Volkswagen directly and indirectly all over the world. Likewise, if we talk about the technological advancement, the skill IT industry of India, and Volkswagen has such technology with the help of which it makes quality cars. And the ecological environment and the legal environment is also being followed in different forms by the Volkswagen Group. The another example is for Lenovo. So if you talk about the political environment with respect to the Lenovo, Lenovo belongs to the Chinese origin, and the Chinese market is a strong hold of Lenovo. China is really known for favoring the local brands. So, it disrupts the supply chain and the distribution system, which is not good for the business health. For economic environment, as you can see, the currency volatility, and for social means the opportunities for Lenovo, and the globalization is the focus here. For technological, they are coming up with the newer trends that are happening in the market. For environmental, no one is committed to sustainability, and for legal, they are focusing upon all the laws related to taxation, labor, and intellectual property rights. Similarly, for Puma also, you can design the pastel analysis like the way it is being designed. As you can see, political forces, economic forces, and socio-cultural forces, and technological forces. In technology, the automation, R&D activities, the environmental forces, use of environment-friendly material for Puma, and legal and regulatory forces, the government industrial policy for Puma. Now moving towards the another case, that is the Royal Enfield political factors, covers taxation policies, transportation problem in the stable political environment, economic factors, the rate of interest and the currency rate. These are the factors which puts impact on the operation of the business decisions. Social factors being the demographic and cultural aspects. In international markets, consumers have strong beliefs in their local brand instead of other country brand, such as Indian brand Royal Enfield. Then you have technological factors. As all Royal Enfield has always been passionate in innovating technology and challenging boundaries of mobility and advancement. Then the legal factors are also being followed by the Royal Enfield and include consumer law, health and safety law. So these factors put a bad impact on the cost of products, the demand of the products, and the production of the product. Due to employment laws in UK, employee working hours and the wages are settled in UK. Government has proposed all the company workplace must be safe as is reasonably practical. And for environmental concerns, if you talk about Royal Enfield, factors include the weather, climate condition, climate changes, you know. So these were all factors in the designing of pastel framework that covers my, fourth learning objectives under the unit called marketing environment. So with this, I would like to end this particular video, and I'll create next video for my objective number 5, that is responding to the global marketing environment. Thank you very, very much.